everyone, happy Friday. Tonight we are going to read a beautiful story called Northern Lights, the Soccer Trails, and it's by Michael Kusugak. Here we go. A long time ago, when Kusugak was little, her mother said, "We called you Kusugak because when you were born, you were as pretty as a rainbow." She put her nose to Kusugak's, sniffed, and said, "Mamak," which means you smell so nice. You see, that is the way we kiss. Some people call it rubbing noses, but it is really sniffing. And Kusugak hugged her mother by her neck, pressed her nose on her face, and said, "Mamak." Kusugak just loved her mother. In spring, the sun was still up in the sky when Kusugak went to bed. When she woke early for the next morning, it was already way up in the sky again. In spring, they would all go fishing. They traveled on the sea ice. Kusugak sat with her mother and her grandmother in the big canoe on the sled. It was very rough and there was a lot of water on the ice. The dog's paws went slush, 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 and the sled creaked. Kusugak's father ran along beside it, holding onto the bow of the canoe, pushing this way, pulling that way, guiding the sled. "Hut, hut, hut," he said to the dog, and they turned left. Sometimes they had to go over big cracks in the ice. Kusugak's father threw the dogs into the water and made them swim across. As they climbed out of the water, the dogs shook their fur, throwing tiny droplets of water everywhere, which sparkled in the bright sunlight. Then Kusugak's father made the dogs pull the sled across with the canoe and the people in it. Kusugak and her mother screamed, "Aye!" and hugged each other really hard because the water was dark and ominous looking. And sometimes they came upon sea holes where the water was flowing in, swirling like a whirlpool. Just the thought of them made Kusugak shudder. She was glad she had her mother to hang on to. When they got back on land, they went to a lake called the Nose. It has a string of little islands in it that looked like noses sticking out of the ice. Kusugak's mother caught a fish that was as big as Kusugak. In summer, Kusugak loved to go for walks. One day, as she walked, Kusugak picked up a flower. It was a teeny tiny flower with delicate white pearls. "My mom will like this," she said to herself. She collected many more beautiful tiny flowers, and when she got home, she gave them to her mother. Her mother hugged her and kissed her and said, "They are beautiful, thank you." She put them in a glass and kept them for a long time. She kept them even when they were dried up and did not look very nice anymore. Then Kusugak went for another walk and collected more tiny flowers. Sometimes she collected nice rocks, gray ones, white caribou fat ones, flat ones, and smooth round ones. And her mother loved every one. She put them on the windowsill. One day, Kusugak's father tried to throw one away, and her mother said, "What are you doing? Put it back." She was very stern about it and put it back. Last summer, just as the weather turns cool and the mosquitoes have gone, it is the very best time to pick berries. The ground turns a fuzzy brown color, it begins to get dark at night, and the geese begin to form flocks, getting ready to fly away before winter comes. It was Kusugak's most favorite time of the year because she got to spend so much time outside with her mother. They picked berries on the long esker that lay just north of their house. Kusugak's mother loved to pick berries. It took them a long time to fill a big can, but they did it. Kusugak's face and hands turned purple with berry juice because she ate most of the berries she picked. Oh, what fun it was. Sometimes they just played together. Kusugak's mother would juggle stones and sing a juggling song. Her mother taught Kusugak all kind of neat stuff that they had done when she herself was little. They had so much fun. But that was a long time ago. One day, big sickness came. So many people were sick. Kusugak's mother coughed, and they sent her way down south in an airplane. And she never came home again. Nobody told Kusugak what had happened. She was too little. Her mother just never came home again. It was such a long time ago. Now Kusugak was a big girl, well, almost a big girl, but she still missed her mother a lot. These days she picked tiny flowers for her kindly grandmother, but it was not the same. When she picked berries on the long esker just north of her house, she thought about her mother. When she picked up a nice rock, she thought about her mother. Sometimes when she was done, Kusugak cried. Sometimes when she went to bed at night and thoughts came, she cried a lot. In the fall, ice forms on the lakes and sea. At night, when the sky is clear, you can see the stars, millions of them twinkling through the moonlight. And sometimes you can see the droppings of the star come sneaking across the sky and disappear before they reach the horizon. Kusugak loved to watch the sky and the stars, and sometimes she would wait a long time to see star droppings streak across the sky. It was early winter that the people in her village liked to go out and play soccer. They made a soccer ball out of caribou skin and stuffed it full of dry moss and fur. Then at night, in the moonlight, they went out to the sea ice, set up 2 goals made of ice blocks and played. Anybody who came down to the sea ice joined in the game. They would run for miles and miles all night long. It was such fun. Sometimes the northern lights came out. They are thin strands of light, thousands of thin strands of light that move above from here to there like thousands of people running around, following one another. Kusugak's grandmother liked to come out and watch the people play soccer too. And one night when Kusugak was feeling very sad and lonely, her grandmother told her a story. People die, she said, and when they die, their souls leave their bodies and they go up into the heavens, and there they live. The thousands of people who passed before us all live up in the sky. When they were on earth, they too like to play soccer, and even though they no longer live among us, they still like to play. So, on a clear moonlight night, they go out on the giant field up there and play soccer. You can see them, thousands of them, all running around and chasing their soccer ball all over the sky. Kusugak watched the northern lights. The thousands of strands of light looked like they were all running around each other, chasing a soccer ball. Kusugak's grandmother continued her story. But unlike us, they are immortal now, and nothing hurts them anymore. So they use a huge, frozen walrus head with big tusks for a soccer ball. And when they give that walrus head a mighty kick, it flies across the sky, and they all chase it from one corner of the sky to another. If you whistle, they will come closer. And if you keep whistling, they will come even closer. But beware, they may come too near. If they do, that walrus head might come swooping down and bonk, knock your head off. And when they come too close, rub your fingernails together so they make a clicking sound. That will make them go away. Kusugak whistled. The northern lights came closer. She whistled some more, and they came closer and still closer. She thought she heard a cracking sound. Was it the sound of a mighty kick on a hard, frozen walrus head? And she thought she heard a whoosh as it came whizzing by. It was an eerie sound, like giant tusks slicing the sky. It sounded awfully near. Quickly, she rubbed her fingernails together, making a clicking sound, and eventually the strange noises began to go further away. Is my mother up there? Kusugak asked grandmother. Of course she is, her grandmother replied. When it is like this, I too like to come out here. I come to see your grandfather. He was a kind man who loved to play soccer. He would have loved you. He always wanted a granddaughter. Now he is up there with all the other people who have passed away. Seeing him having a wonderful time makes me feel so much better. Kusugak watched the northern lights play their game for a long time. She thought she could see her mother running around with all of them up there. She seemed to be having a good time. As her mother turned to run, Kusugak thought she saw her smile down. Kusugak was glad her mother had not gone away at all. She was not so lonely anymore. It made her feel so much better. Sometime, when the moon is out and the stars are twinkling brightly in the frosty air, you should go outside and take a look. Maybe you will see the northern lights way up in the sky. They really are the souls of people who have died, and like us, they like to go out and have a good time. They love to play soccer. And if you look closely, maybe you will see someone special whom you thought had gone away forever. That special someone, that special person, has not really gone away at all. It is the most wonderful thing. I hope you enjoyed the story tonight. Have a great sleep, and I'll see you on Monday for story time with Miriam. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye.